Well, well, well. Hello, everybody.
What's
up?
I hope everybody's fine, just fine,
Yes, sir.
just fine. We have some things to talk about today, y'all. One of them. Hang on, before I do anything, let me make sure I get our feed going fair on my Facebook here. Hang on, edit privacy, because you know how Facebook like to do. You
They
tell
be
them you
doing,
want it public, then they put it to private like idiots.
they be doing it like that.
Man, they clowns, bro. They clowning.
They
Oh,
clown.
cool. It is working.
Anyway, welcome to everyone. I sure hope that everyone here is having a good day. The Republican Party is in the throes of a shakeup, which is good. We're finally starting to see the underbelly, and you're seeing the ones who are supposed to have spine, and the ones who don't and try to lie.
That's right.
Which is really good, really good because we get to weed them out. And so we'll talk about it because there's some really hilarious things that have come about since it took off. So don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. All right. So, peoples, listen, me holler at you. Let me holler at you real quick. We have we have an absentee spot in the Speaker of the Huskow.
Oh,
Thanks to Mr. Matt Gaetz and his brilliant work in excavating that area because we needed McCarthy to never have been in there to begin with. And now that he's gone, it's a very good thing. For those of you who don't know who McCarthy is, he's a shill.
Hallelujah.
Shill. And you don't want to know how we have proof? The deal he made with the Democrats to still send aid to Ukraine while not funding here, all in an effort to do what they normally do, which is keep fake government open. Do any of you have the? There was a speech that Matt Gaetz gave right after.
I remember that speech.
The event took place, and
was it the speech during the moment where Ilhan Omar decided to get all googly eyed for the white man?
That's one, but this was right after that. About what they.
It was right. It was a press conference, pretty much. It was right after they made the vote, and Matt Gaetz was telling the spill on why they did what they did.
Yeah, this is. I got one of him in the chamber, and that's another.
This one was outside the chamber, I think.
Yeah, I think I found it.
It was in a rotunda. Yeah, Matt Gaetz is on fire.
He's hot, like hot, man. Hot. I can't blame him. I can't blame him. Here's the thing: he's been watching this, and for those who he's been speaking about this for a while.
Yeah,
I have to give Matt his credit. There are some things he does that I don't fully agree with, but it has nothing to do with policy. It's just how he behaves.
Yeah.
But in this case, he is standing in the gap like they should for their job. This is exactly what they should be doing. And so we'll take a listen to what he says after the this is it here. Just just listen for the first 3 minutes or so.
What was going through your head when the vote gaveled down?
Just we got to move to the next step. You know, we are not at the end of this process. Okay, at most we're approaching halftime. We've got to be able to assemble a governing coalition. We have to build from a place of trust. The reason Kevin McCarthy went down today is because nobody trusts Kevin McCarthy.
Period.
Kevin McCarthy has multiple contradictory promises, and when they all come due, he lost votes to people who maybe don't even ideologically agree with me on everything. Take, for example, my colleague from South Carolina, Ms. Mace. She has different views than I do on a variety of subjects, but what we had in common, Kevin McCarthy lied to all of us.
Hold on a second. You're saying that nobody trusts Kevin McCarthy. You're talking about, including yourself, about 7 Republicans compared to about 200 and about, some odd Republicans who actually do trust him. So can you kind of...
How do you know that?
Well, as it turns out, getting 200 Republicans to trust you isn't enough to stay speaker.
Compared to
Oh, that's
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's real cold, man.
Okay, Matt Gaetz.
and Kat brought up in the chat, she said that Gaetz was one of the ones that held out to the very end when it's time to confirm. McCarthy. So he's always had an eye out for him. He's been waiting for the moment to get rid of McCarthy. And the moment came and he struck. There's a little book called The Art of War. That's what he did. Yep.
But remember too, they had this big fight on the floor at the time they were trying to confirm McCarthy, and this guy came up from behind. I forget who the clown was, but he was all trying to get up in Matt's face, and Matt was just kind of sitting there like, okay, look, I don't know much about Matt, but I think he has some street in him, just a little bit. Like he looks like he grew up in an era that we fighting and over words. We gonna fight, right? So he sat there like this, and he looked over the guy, and the guy was all coming like this, and Matt didn't even budge. Like,
what do you want to say, man?
Yeah, just touch me once, and this is over. Okay, just touch me once and see what happened to you. Because I think a fight might have broken out there, and Matt would have come out on top. Because that was not going to win.
He don't look like no pushover type of guy when it comes to throwing hands
at all. I want to hear him finish. I want to hear the swing back to that statement.
At this point, would you spoken to former President Trump about this since the ousting? Was he supportive of what you were doing?
I have spoken to President Trump over the last several days. The ousting only occurred several minutes ago, so we haven't spoken during
Former
that
President
time.
Trump put on Truth Social that he didn't think this was a good idea. He didn't want to see Republicans fighting with other Republicans. How do you respond to the former president?
I would say that my conversations with the former president leave me with great confidence that I'm doing the right thing.
Did the former president call you today? Did the former president call you today?
Who are concerned about the future of the conservative agenda in the House?
I would say that the conservative agenda was being paralyzed by Speaker McCarthy. We had
Truth.
We didn't even send a subpoena to Hunter Biden.
Now,
go ahead.
No,
all right. So here's the question. So you remember at one point they was talking about starting a new party, not the Libertarians, not the Independents. It was the Lion. What was that party called? The emblem was the lion. You remember that?
No,
wasn't it the Patriots?
Was it the Patriot Party?
It was the Patriots.
The way my brain works all the time, it goes a million miles an hour. What if this is a step to actually get that party started? Because you got to think about now the Republican Party, there's a shift and there's a split within the party. So what if the majority of the people that didn't, or the 7 that didn't vote, and they can get a couple other Republicans or even Democrats to join this new party? What if this is kind of the spark, the catalyst to get this third party started, led by who else? Donald Trump.
I think what you'll see then, if that happens, you'll see the remaining Republicans de facto over to the Democrats.
Yeah.
Because they're already, let's be honest, they're there already. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not, it's not like it's a far stretch for these rhinos and these warmongers to join the Democrats and joining into the whole concept of what they want America to be. So that's not far-fetched. I can see that being
all facing at the time.
Right. It'll still be a two-party system, but I think it'll be a more fair two-party system. At least one will be more along the lines of what a party should be, which is for the people. And the other one you'll see it'll be a stark difference between the two. There'll be no middle ground.
We shouldn't even have a two-party system to begin with. We weren't even supposed to. This whole idea that the United States only has two parties is dumb, because it doesn't. It has multiple parties. It's just they've kept a monopoly, a duopoly, if you will, on power for so long. That's the only reason, right? We're not supposed to be that way. They didn't even want political parties in the United States from the beginning. They warned against having these type of parties because once they get into power, they never let go. And that's what we've been facing this entire time. Look at how the Democrats cheat every single time in their primaries to get who they want in. It is not a democratic process. It hasn't been for the Democrats for a very long time. They don't care who's in as long as it's the person they want and the DNC wants.
I think this has to come down to those who abide by the Constitution and those that don't. And that I think that still will end up being a two-party. But one will be the party of America, and the other one will be the party that's trying to break America. And I think this is what you'll end up seeing. And from the party that abides by the Constitution, you'll see many people that have varying degrees of what they have in terms of their viewpoint of what America is going to be globally. You'll see a whole branch of people voting for different people that won't have it. It might end up looking like one party, but the Democrats will end up phasing out if we can get somebody or a group of people that will stand up to the Constitution. And if they don't do that, it almost makes no sense to vote, because what are you voting for? You're voting for someone who will eventually negate your vote anyway.
That's right.
That's true.
Well, if it ever came down to that, like you said, the Democrats, overpowering the Constitutional Party, I think at some point they would vote for us to become a democracy, period.
Mhm.
To where our
Hmm.
votes, even if we don't agree or don't vote at all, it's not going to matter because they're going to go to the majority rules and they're going to say the majority of the people in the country are left leaning.
Mhm.
And that's how they maintain power. But if you look at history, right? If you look at, they always say history repeats itself. So if you look at, when the Democratic Party was established in the 1800s or mid 1800s or something, 1820 or something like that, all of a sudden sprouted this other party, the Republican Party. And it's kind of the same thing. It alludes to kind of the same concept. The party splits. The Republican Party, as we know it, splits. All those Republicans who want what the Democrats want and stand for, they shift over to the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party becomes a majority. This smaller party is created, and then we have civil war, and it's on.
Well, you see, the reason the Republicans even showed up as a party was because of how deviated the Democrats became to the Constitution. And so you start to have this poor reading of what was included in the Constitution by the people who were then Dixie Democrats, whatever the heck they want to call themselves, all in an effort to hide what they really are. It sprouted a new movement to try and regain some of what the country ought to be.
Yeah.
And what you're going to see here is you're going to start, and this is already happening because McCarthy read, and I'll play it for you what he said. You're already going to start to see the ones who are not conservative start dogging people who are and calling them not, by trying to change what conservatism actually is into something other, more of a left-leaning thing. So like this fool. Okay, he's a clown. Okay, so listen to this idiot. Listen to this idiot.
He has a punchable face.
You, Paul Ryan,
Eric Cantor, yeah.
now all three of you guys have been essentially.
Well, we're not that young anymore.
Well, all three of you have been pushed out by so-called more conservative.
No, let's be fair, and it's wrong that you ever say. They are not conservatives. They voted against the greatest cut in history that Congress has ever voted for.
With pork.
Yeah.
With pork, you absolute tool. With pork. For things that have nothing to do with America.
That's right.
Like, why would I? Okay. And I understand how these clowns do it. I understand. They love the underhanded, shiftless stuff that they do, is they say, if you don't sign for this, then you must be against that. But dude, you're putting in stuff in there that has nothing to do with us.
That's right.
And you're forcing me to pick between the people I'm protecting and these idiots who do not deserve my protection. In fact, they're they're violent people. They're evil people. Let's be honest. Ukraine, filled with a bunch of vile people.
Yep.
Led by a cross-dressing vile human being in Zelensky. Okay, let's just be honest about what this is. They don't have America's interests at heart. They're covering for Biden, and they're stealing our money. And you want me to sign a bill with you to support them and have less for us? And you're supposed to be representing, man, miss me with that.
And this reminds me, I know you got to get back to the video, but this reminds me, and this was an old video, but it's resurfacing. I remember the guy that was in the chamber, and he was like, you expect me to read a bill that was put on my desk a couple hours ago, and I'm supposed to vote for my people?
I saw that.
Yeah, remember that? This is what it reminds me of. And like you were saying, these people would put things in these bills that gets overlooked, or they don't read it. The bills have so much in it that there's little things in there that people don't know about. But when you get people like the Gaetz, these young politicians that actually read the bill, that's when they jump in and say, no, we're not going to do it. But why we're going to watch this video, hopefully somebody can pull up the tenets of conservatism so we can show you what the tenets of conservatism are, because they're out there. What a conservative is.
I think to add a little context, what this whole fight is all about is the omnibus spending package. What they were talking about is the giant everything bill that they always do every single year, the continuing resolution that is 5,000 pages long, filled with nothing but everything possible. So like the whole reason Matt Gaetz got in a fight with him is that they wanted to break up this continuing resolution that's been going on for 30 years. They haven't done a single item voting for a budget in 30 years. That is why he's fighting this fight, is because they keep just spending and spending and spending, but they won't sit down and say, okay, here's the vote for this thing. So here's for veteran benefits, right? Which is what he wanted to do. He's like, look, let's do a clean bill. Let's not shut down the government. Let's do a clean bill of single item voting. Here's the thing for veterans so they get their benefits, and then we can move on to the next thing.
Exactly.
Right? This whole thing is about funding you for Ukraine and then wanting to spend thousands and billions and trillions of dollars in a giant package without voting individually on every single program because they don't want to work. They don't want to do their job. They just want to say, hey, here's all the package of everything that we're going to pay for. This is the budget for the year, and this is what we're going to spend. And nobody gets to say no. Everybody has to approve this. And that's what he said. No, we don't play that way. We can't continue to govern this way.
It's about getting vacations in on time.
Yeah.
Good on them.
For $2 trillion. They voted against work requirements. They voted against NEPA reform. They voted against border security. They voted against. They don't get to say they're conservative because they're angry and they're chaotic. That's not the party I belong to. The party of Reagan was if you believed in your principles that you could govern in a conservative way.
Cap.
They are not conservatives and they do not have the right to have the title.
Wait, that's cap.
He funny.
That's not something Reagan stood for.
He got jokes.
Yeah, that's not. Come on, guy. Yeah.
All McCarthy's doing right now is literally trying to gaslight the American people. That's
right.
all I'm hearing is well, no, they're not really conservative. It's like, bro, what do you know?
I think Jay
he
sent the tenets of conservatism to the group chat.
I got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Individual freedom. We don't want that. That's a Democrat thing, right?
We don't want
limited government, rule of law, peace through strength, fiscal responsibility, free markets, and human dignity. It's pretty stinking easy.
Look, fiscal responsibility. That's
it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
We don't ask for a whole lot.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
So uselessly, needlessly sending money to a foreign nation that has nothing to do with America?
That's
okay.
You don't support the troops if you don't want to vote for this bill, and I don't mean U.S. troops. I mean Ukrainian troops.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. It's about continuing the war that we're not getting anything out of. What the hell are we, the American taxpayer, going to get out of this war in Ukraine? Honestly, like,
absolutely.
what are we going to get out of it? It's like, as Raytheon and freaking Halliburton are going to get their cut, right? All the other people that are involved in certain companies for reconstruction are going to get their cut. But what is the U.S. American tax dollar, like, per payer going to get for their effort?
Nothing. And why are we one of the only countries in the world that send our tax dollars to other countries? I didn't hear about any country coming to rescue Maui. Hawaii did.
Who's sending aid packages to Maui? Nobody.
No, I didn't hear any aid packages going to Maui from Ukraine or any other country.
Where's
even our NATO allies
help Maui?
I thought we were part of NATO, the United Nations. Where are they at? I mean, no one's helping us.
You heard it wrong. It's not NATO. It's not us.
Not us. Yeah.
Not
but see, you got these Americans out here when the government pulls on the heartstrings in their mind and they're virtue signaling when they think like this. They think they're doing something good by sending money to Ukraine. Oh, the kids and the displaced families. We got the same stuff going on in our country. Where's the aid packet for the American citizens who need help, who are out here, living on the streets, begging for food every day? Where's their aid package?
Yep.
So good on Matt Gaetz. Good on Matt Gaetz.
It's going to illegals and Ukrainians. That's what it's going to.
So go ahead.
We need to listen to him on the floor before the vote because he explains exactly why he was doing what he was doing. And I think it's better to hear it from him.
I don't think voting against Kevin McCarthy is chaos. I think $33 trillion in debt is chaos. I think that facing a $2.2 trillion annual deficit is chaos. I think that not passing single subject spending bills is chaos. I think the fact that we have been governed in this country since the mid-90s by continuing resolution and omnibus is chaos. And the way to liberate ourselves from that is a series of reforms to this body.
And to keep promises. I just
Gorka.
I love some Gorka.
That man's a beast right there.
Yeah, he is.
Anyway, so that was a clip I was looking for. But yeah, that's what he said. He's not wrong. I mean, this is exactly what it is. And you notice with Gaetz, he never reads from a prepared statement.
Mm-hmm.
He says exactly what he means.
Hip fire.
And what he says.
And when people do that, and we talked about it on the episode last week, or a couple days ago, we talked about when they get up there and give a speech and it's
Rehearsed.
rehearsed, it's not real. It's some speech writer in their corner, their aide writing a speech for them, and they just get up there and regurgitate it.
Yeah.
It brought out a lot of weeds and cockroaches out of the woodwork. Okay, termites and all these people, and one of them is Newt Gingrich. Just
oh yeah,
this is great. Just listen here.
You all reconvene for what you could be doing, and by the way, Representative Jamal Bowman gets a pass because no one's going to be focused on the fact that he brought something to a halt nearly by pulling a fire alarm. But you voted anyway. And that's my point. You worked together. You did what you needed to do. And I think that's what the American people want to see again. And it's good to hear you say that you're perched to bring about that good leadership. I do want to get to this. A former House Speaker wrote an op-ed. This is Newt Gingrich talking, that Republicans must expel Matt Gaetz for this move.
Yep.
He also said this.
4%. 4%. Decided they were so morally superior, so intellectually pure, so patriotically better, that they would side with the Democrats. We ought to be focusing on Biden. We ought to be focusing on the economy. We ought to be focusing on the border. Instead, you're going to get a week or 10 days of the media focusing on Republican disarray. It's an astonishingly destructive behavior by a handful of egocentric people who think they're superior to 96% of the conference.
A couple of headlines. The New York Post editorial board, Matt Gaetz burns down the Republican House. The Wall Street Journal editorial board, Republicans cut off their own heads. A gang of 8 ousts a speaker with no plan or replacement in mind. Congressman, first of all, your reaction to all of that and a quick follow that I'll have.
Yeah, I think that's the uniparty talking right there. Let's ask Newt Gingrich, when was the last time you led a coup? He actually led a coup. Back in his days. When was the last time we actually had a balanced budget and did 12 bills? He was the speaker. He should remember that. And what has happened over the last 25 years? 130 continuing resolutions, massive debt, massive structural deficit. We've had 3 times in the last 25 years where they did a continuing resolution for the entire year, Harris. And I can tell you what, when you pass out bills and you say, we fixed the border, but you've done nothing to leverage this administration to get the border secure, then you have failed. And in my humble opinion, the speaker basically killed us on the debt ceiling deal. We don't have a debt ceiling in place until January of 2025. All of these things were what he did. And to say that people should be expelled for following the rules. Nothing that was done was not consistent with the rules that were put in place and voted by Republicans in January of this year.
Real quickly.
Yeah.
Now.
They agreed. He agreed to these rules when he was elected speaker. He agreed that he wouldn't go behind their backs to the Democrats to continue a vote.
But did it.
And did it anyway. And he lied. That's why he's no longer speaker.
And yet Newt Gingrich is sitting there talking about, how this is all a bunch of actions done by these, quote, egotistical 8. It's so weird.
While sitting there being egotistical, that's too funny.
Yeah, look at the source. He is part of the uniparty. Newt Gingrich is a rhino. He's always been a rhino, and he can't be trusted. He's a failed politician who ran for president twice, 3 times, failed.
Pro-war.
They're all pro-establishment. He's a warmonger. He's part of the military-industrial complex, and he's sitting up here talking about these young conservatives who are tired of the way things are being ran. And that's the way it starts. It starts.
Here's my question.
Spark.
Is this a representative democracy, right? Are we a republic that uses representatives?
Should be.
We are. We are, right? So that's the thing about not being ruled by the tyranny of the majority is you can be a minority and still put a cog in the machine or stop the machine.
If it has to.
Yes. Exactly. This is what this is. Like, this is the reason we're not the Democrats. We don't just go in goose step with each other.
That's right. And it's beautiful to see, because when you try to build any team, and I say this about the Republicans and Democrats, it doesn't matter if you stand for it or not. They always agree. So it does take somebody to say, no, we don't agree with that. Because usually, no matter what they try to pass, I could be sitting there like, man, that's some bull crap. I don't agree with that. But you are coerced to vote for it.
Blackmailed.
Yeah,
which is why I think that's
whatever they did.
That's kind of sort of what seemed like it happened with Matt Gaetz when they were trying to vote in McCarthy. Like he wasn't standing for it. And that one dude that came over, he was like, "You're going to do this, blah 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 blah, or else," kind of a thing. And we speculated that this guy had something on Matt, but apparently it doesn't seem like that was the case because Matt came back in full force,
big time, as he should.
So,
and that's the thing. He should have come back this hard at it. He should have.
Yeah.
Now, he says you need to focus on Biden. Meanwhile, he did nothing to stop Biden when he was Speaker of the House.
That's right.
Yeah.
Y'all could have all this information was there about Biden back then.
Yeah.
Like every bit of it. You didn't do anything, but now you want to focus on Biden after it's too late?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, look, don't forget the years that he was in office, right? 95 to 99. Please tell me who was president during that time.
Oh, Bill Clinton.
Okay. All right. So you were Speaker of the House. You were the Speaker of the House during a time that one of the most notorious and infamous, what's the cleanest word I can use for this?
Scallywags.
Scallywags. It was in the White House, right? Yeah. You went along with most of the wars that he signed off on because you liked it. Heck, you were there when Bush was doing the same thing.
When he started it. Yeah.
Come on, man. You want to talk?
So,
look, you were there the same way that when this man was running, right? You were there when this man was in the Senate. Okay. This is the man. And this is a sentiment that has been with him for years. I want you guys to listen because this is important.
Is that really him? No.
This is the him.
Did he try to shake her hand?
I don't know.
He looks like it.
I'm trying to get to where he gets up.
It's great to see you all. Phil and I are really honored to be here. I've been doing this job for a while, and everywhere I go, I see warriors like all of you.
Let me see if this is it here.
The incredible sacrifices you make for our country. And I want you to know,
there it is.
notwithstanding what you may hear about me, I have incredibly good judgment. One, I married Jill. And two, I appointed Johnson to the academy. I want you to know that. Clap for that, you stupid bastard.
Yeah. So clap for that, you stupid bastard.
You stupid bastards.
Yeah.
Hey, chat, go and see if you can find Newt Gingrich's investments during those times of those wars. Let's see what the money goes.
Yeah, because who made out like bank? I mean, that's one of the things with Joe Biden's brother making a ton of money in Iraq for Reconstruction. Yeah.
It's a crazy thing. And this is a long time coming, mind you. If the Democrats really cared about America, they would have ousted Pelosi forever ago.
That's right.
But Pelosi was doing the bidding of the majority of the Democrat Party, which was what? You've got to fleece the American people, one, and you can line your pockets and get rich. Now, remember, 90% of Congress and almost 100% of the Senate enter into their post broke. And by broke, I mean you might be worth $100K at the most. Some even being worth 60 to 70K and come out in the millions.
Yeah.
Pelosi, I think Pelosi is one of the worst. She went in at 100 and she came out 150 mil strong. 100K, she went in 150 mil after. So what exactly you got to do to get that? You got to pass some bills and get a little kickback from some people.
No, it's playing the stocks real well. And the only politicians that's gone into a office and come out broker is Donald Trump.
$1 billion broker.
That's right.
$1 billion broker. And they're even trying to take all of his companies away from him. Like, it's not just a little bit, it's a lot that he's lost.
But speaking of Pelosi.
Oh, yeah.
She gone.
She gone.
Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that she got kicked out?
Yeah.
Kicked out of her office that she used to have
beautiful
for the speaker. And it's like,
I
that's
was
against the
laughing.
rule.
I was dying. I was just like, I wish somebody does a skit about her reaction. Like,
this photo actually is pretty good that CNN put up. That looks like her face is very surprised.
Hey, fellas, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that McCarthy's job to out her completely instead of having her?
Yeah.
hold
Well,
on to her
apparently
office?
it's a thing that they do where they just like let the former speaker keep some of their offices there or whatever. That's why she's all butthurt about it. It's like, well, this is precedent where we used to do this all the time. It's like, shut up, old lady, get out.
We're changing precedent here. We're changing it. It's about time to get rid of these old bags and hags and put them in where they belong, out to pasture.
Yeah.
They don't belong behind a desk doing anything for America. They need to be put out to pasture and left out there to just expire, like old milk or rotten cheese or some leftover food. Just be left out there with their flies and all their maggots and all that stuff. Just leave them out there.
They got the money to survive.
Like these old dinosaurs, like McConnell, Pelosi, all these old politicians who were politicians back when Kunta Kinte was shot calling and big balling, and was in there with Jim Crow. These are the same people making decisions for us today.
And they can't make none for themselves. Either.
Think about that. These people are living in a different time. They're back in time, and they're trying to make decisions on the future, and they're still back in the 1940s.
Yeah,
come on, man, get them up out of there. They gone. He's gone.
That's true. So speaking of McConnell, guess who's decided that we need to change the rules so that we can't just out speakers like that?
Of course.
Oh
I'd like to start by thanking Speaker McCarthy for his service. We had a great personal relationship, trying to lead two very different parts of the American government. I think he has much to be.
The colonial times are rough.
I'm trying to listen.
Avoided the government shutdown. We did the inevitable with regard to the debt ceiling. And I'm one person who's extremely grateful for his service. I have no advice to give to House Republicans except one. I hope whoever the next speaker is gets rid of the motion to vacate. I think it makes the speaker's job impossible.
No, pause it. What it makes the speaker's job is it impossible for him to screw up because he knows that his time can be revoked at any time we need it to.
That's right.
Look, it's like telling me I'm going to put a clause in the workplace or asking, better yet, the employees to tell the employer, we cannot be fired. Even if we screw up your job, we could burn your whole place to the ground. You can't fire me. I'm your employee. That's how dumb that is. So listen here, Turtle Boy. You're not Uguay, okay? You are not Master Uguay, like by any stretch of the imagination. You're just a random old half-dead turtle that needs to be put into its shell and locked up. You freezing up there behind the mic and like having 15 consecutive strokes. Between you and Fetterman, I don't know which one's more retarded. I really don't know. I think there's a trifecta between you, Fetterman, and Biden. Nobody can understand a thing you're saying. At every turn, you lose your trend of thought. And when you do speak, it's marbles in your mouth. Man, just leave. Look, vacate your throne. Get out. Nobody wants you here. Nobody likes you. Nobody agrees with you. We don't like you. In fact, I would even go so far as to say, from all the things you've done, we hate you. We despise you.
Okay, that's bad.
We don't want you around. Yes. Look, if you were to expire tomorrow, we would not want a funeral for you. That's how bad we don't like you. All of you, the rhinos, the Democrats, Biden, Clinton, Bushes, if you guys just died tomorrow, nobody would care.
Clintons.
Like we would throw a party that you're gone because you're so vile of a human. You guys are more responsible for dead Americans, both on our soil and overseas, than any other world dictator has ever been.
Yeah.
This is how vile you people are. But you want to stand up there and talk about this is just fake and this and no, we should end you. We should end your entire career and kick you out to the streets.
That's right.
Because between you and Pelosi, you have done more to morally bankrupt America, financially bankrupt America, and globally bankrupt America than any other regime ever. Because you've helped every last one of them for the last 60 years. That is crazy to me. Look, man, look.
He's still signing bills with a ink and
quill.
feather.
With a quill.
A quill. He's like, do I sign right here? No, sir. Here's a pen. Oh, I'm still used to these. He rides in on his horse every month.
FYI, Kunta wasn't real.
Right.
Kunta
I
never
know
existed.
Kunta wasn't real.
Okay.
Come on.
No, I'm not talking to you. I mean, Kunta wasn't a real figure. It was a fake. Nothing was real about Kunta. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can call him anything we want, including a shot caller and big baller.
Yeah, he is a shot caller.
So
Because he
this
wasn't
is
real.
relevant for everybody. Is the average age of Congress is 58. The average age for the Senate is 65. That's who's running the country.
That's a good average.
Who's the
right
oldest though? I think the oldest is like 90.
Well, it was Feinstein until she croaked, and that was 90.
That's what I'm saying.
McConnell's
These
second,
people-
isn't it?
No, I think somebody else is.
Is somebody else right beneath Feinstein?
So hold on a second. The average age of the Senate is retirement age.
Yes.
What's
Yes.
his
Wow.
name? I can see his face.
I can see his face too. He's a
I know.
white,
I'm trying
white
to find
guy.
it right now.
Golly gee, I'll remember.
Yeah,
But
she was-
if you look at the age of these people, you know, a lot of them, the oldest is over double my age.
That's
You know what I mean? So these people were signing bills. These people were around. Think about this. They were around during Jim Crow
it's Grassley.
segregation. And we're still voting these people in. These
So-
people, you think that they lived during Jim Crow and segregation? They just woke up one day and said, okay, you know, everything's good. No, because they're the same people who voted for it. Think about that. And we putting them back in office every time.
Let me read the top 10 for you in the Senate and their ages.
Durbin. Durbin's the other
Durbin. Yep.
Oh, okay. So in the Senate, it's Grassley at 89. He was born in 33. Feinstein was born in 33. Sanders, 41. McConnell, 42. Right? That's when he was born. It was 1942. These are the years I'm calling out. Cardin was 43. Reich is 43. Durbin is from 1944. That's when he was born. Angus King, 44. Markley, 46. So all like Romney was even born in 47.
Hang on.
And he's 75.
Hang on. Okay.
Jeez.
Hang on a second. Okay. 33, you said?
Yeah, from 1933 is when they were born.
Okay. So she would have been 33 at the time of the Civil Rights Bill being passed.
Yep.
Yes.
So she would have been influential on it because she was in the Senate by then.
That's right.
That's how long this clown has been in there. Okay. By the way, for those who think I should pay respects to the dead, not when the dead is Satan. I'm not paying respects to a vile female who was all about the murdering of babies, the same way I felt about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I'm glad that she's dead. I'm so glad that she's gone, and I know for a fact that she's burning in hell because she was one of the main people that pushed the death of an infant. I do not ever, and she never took that back. So yeah, I do believe she went down there with gasoline draws on, and I do believe that Feinstein went there with her. They're all hanging out on fire together, as far as I'm concerned, because what they do, what they have done, look, okay, let's be honest. 65, right? Is what we said? 65, 1965.
Average.
Yeah. Let's do some numbers. How many of you think that Hitler is in hell?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 6 million Jews, right? About 6 to 7 million. Feinstein and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, 20 million.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
so there you go.
Here's
Just so you
another
know.
question. When did Feinstein get into office? What year?
I have to look it up. Give me a second.
I'm trying to do some math here.
I mean,
Because you
wasn't
talked
she,
about
First took a political office or in office?
just in the political eye and just
Okay,
politics
because
in general.
like she's been a
Influence.
senator since 92.
Okay, I remember.
And
this.
you, 92 is what I'm showing. Let me see.
I want to know who was around during the segregation and civil rights
all of them.
Well, Biden was.
Well, Grassley was. I mean,
Okay,
you got to
so
think about
no,
this.
and here's where I'm going. All right, so it was 1964 the Civil Rights Act was passed, correct? All right, I think there was the first time they tried it was in 1957, I think, right? There was two. The first time they tried to pass it, it didn't pass. So what I'm alluding to, I'm trying to figure out who was in office, Democrat-wise, in the 1950s when they first tried to pass the Civil Rights Act, because the majority of Democrats voted against it. That's where I'm getting at. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, who was in office at that time and who's still in office, and that should tell you a lot about that person.
So she's been in a political office at some kind for a long time.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was mayor of San Francisco from 1978 to 88.
That
Okay.
was
So don't hand me that. And if you know anything about these people, is they always have a political voice somewhere else as well. Okay.
Well, let's just think about this for a second, though. Like, who was the oldest person you said? Chuck Grassley, born in 1933, right?
Yeah.
So the tail end. So he grew up through World War II era. Civil rights, Vietnam, Korea, Desert Storm,
Jim Crow.
war in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Jim Crow, the onset of the internet. Dude, this clown went through decades worth of events in the 20th century.
Time capsule. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Holy
if he was born in the 30s, around the Civil Rights Act, he had to be in his mid 30s, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get at, was he in any type of political anything when he was in his 30s, mid 30s? You know, that's the question. So if you can just go back and say, well, this guy he was a mayor of a town in the 30s during around the Civil Rights era, depending on where he was, then you can go back and see if he voted for or against it. And this is why I said you got to track these people's history back, because a lot of these freaking walking dinosaurs were around during civil rights. They probably voted against it. And now here they are in our face talking about equality, and I'm this good person, and I'm that good person. They're not. They're all playing politics as a game to them. It's all about the votes and the money, man.
No, Grassley didn't get into Congress until 1975.
That's the tail end of
1967, though, he became a lawyer. So
yeah,
just so you know.
Yeah,
it's a start.
That's what I'm saying. So, but here's the other thing I want to say. Guess what the youngest person in the Senate is?
32.
No, close. It was 35. There are only two people that are under 40.
AOC and
Boebert and
maybe Elena.
No, that's the Senate. We're talking about the Senate.
The Senate. We're talking about the Congress.
Ooh,
yeah. So in Congress, there are
quite a few under 50.
There's quite a few under 30, but there's less than you think.
I'd say about 15 of them.
There's more like 20, I think. 20
That's close.
40. I didn't count them individually, but yeah, there's about that. But the oldest person in Congress is 86.
That is sick.
Damn.
My gosh.
That is sick. I don't care who you are, but that's pretty sick. I'm not going to lie.
You have to be thirsty for power to be in a position that long. It's really about the power and the recognition and the validation that you get from your status in order to do that until you die.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being old and senile and thirsty for power? Oh, good night.
It's better than being in an old folks home because you have interns that wipe your butt.
They're all lizard people, draconians.
I mean, it's better than retirement because then they get to, boss people around. They get to pretend they're important, just like most boomers' ideologies, like they have to be important. Everything's got to be my way. Everything has to be a certain way. That's why they'll never let go until they die. Like legitimately, Feinstein died in her office kind of situation, right? Because they couldn't let go.
It's haunted now.
That whole building needs to be burnt to the ground. I want to hear what else does he have to say. Turtle, okay. Turtleneck.
If you can understand the marble talk.
Functioning government. On the Senate side, we need to get as many appropriation bills passed as possible. The majority leader's indicated that's what he would like to do as well. and he'll have plenty of cooperation from us in trying to achieve as close to a regular appropriations process as we possibly can.
Regular.
By regular, he mean what has always been done, and we don't want to change no more. That's regular.
That is
Just like Coy said about the boomers. Not is he even a boomer?
Yeah,
I think he might be like the early first hat. He was the original boomer.
Oh, he was one. He was the Adam and Eve boomer.
Patient zero. He's patient zero.
Adam and Eve. Feinstein ate the apple. You know, that's how far back they go.
What's that saying? Older than dirt.
Yeah,
that's old.
That's crazy, bro.
Imagine going to bed every night wondering if you're gonna wake up the next day.
I'm betting money that's his handler. They all have one after a certain. Well, at the look, Biden had his own too. If you remember correctly, when he first got onto the scene and was running for a government office, and they asked him specifically, you're young and people are, happy that there's be somebody that's coming in that's not corrupt. And he says, I wouldn't go so far as to say that I'm not.
I remember
that clip. Yeah.
And I've known for a long time that Biden has been corrupt. He's not. Come on now.
Who's that other old ass senator that can barely put his pants on? He's shaped like Grimace, and he always poops his pants.
No. The
other
the Oompa Loompa. What's his name?
Like this.
Nadler, Jerry Nadler.
Right.
Nadler. That
That's
dude.
right.
I mean, he's pooping his pants on stage. It's time to go. It's time to retire.
Belly tucked into his pants. That's the reason why.
No.
Literally, he's reached the quantum of obesity.
Listen, Coy. I know you might want to give the man the benefit of the doubt.
Don't give no one the benefit of
But
the doubt.
he was on stage, and you could literally see him waddling, trying not to let this thing spill.
And it spilled right in his undies.
Okay,
Right.
that man pooped himself the same way Biden did in the White House. Okay,
and the Vatican.
Biden's done it.
That's what I said, Biden. But yeah, this is the generation, right? Just so we have an understanding of what we're talking about. So the silent generation apparently is up until 1945. So like he's even older than baby boomers. Baby boomers are from 46 to 64. Gen X is 65 to 80. Millennials is 81 to 96. Zoomers or Gen Z is 97 to 2012. And Generation Alpha is 2010s to mid 2020.
Wow.
So my kids are
We're
here.
My son's a Zoomer.
You know
I'm
what?
here, and then these effers are down here.
Hey, look. I wish he would take note of what his generation is and follow suit and shut up and be silent. Be silent. I hope one day you just be silent like the generation you came from. You know that silent generation? Just shut up. That's what you should do. All of y'all that were born in the 30s need to just shut up. You're born in the 40s. Shut up. Just be silent. When anybody want to hear you, if you're in power and you're that old, you need to have a seat in the corner or go to your retirement home, have your Jell-O pudding, and just be quiet. Okay?
Yeah, they even give us this little World War I and Great Depression, World War II.
That's insane to me.
That's crazy.
1.0 is in here. War on Terror is this whole section right here. So look how small like the Depression and World War II is, and then here's the War on Terror. Just whole giant chunk of generations in the War on Terror.
Because they can define terror as anything they want.
COVID-19 on here. That's nice.
Wow.
They can put terror as anything they want. And look, they're going to expand the war on terror here in the next couple. They're going to add it back, and they're going to bring us into it. They're going to call us terrorists.
They already started.
Yeah, unless something worse. Unless something happens.
I mean,
it's just funny that these two right here are the ones leading in making decisions for all of this generation up here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's insane to me.
They're so out of tune with age, everything. I mean, they don't know what's going on in the world, and they're too old. I mean, even when my mom, she's in her 60s, and even when I talk to her about certain things, that are mainstream, she's kind of like, "What the heck are you talking about?" Not everything, but there are some things, and you think these dang dinosaurs know what's going on with Generation Zoomers? They have no idea the decisions that they're making.
No.
What's hilarious to me though is Generation Zoomers, like you look at some of these TikTok, political pundits like Harry Tyson. He's literally answering to people born in the baby boomer generation.
He's working for these guys down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the greatest generation is Generation X, though, personally.
I agree.
You know what this reminds me of? It's the Simpsons. It's like, I used to be with it, and then they changed what it was. That's a great clip.
You know, this is someone said Zoomers. Is that what we were saying?
Yeah, Zoomers. Zoomers generation.
Okay,
Z.
so this is their idea of what a Zoomer would be. That's their Zoomer.
I mean, yeah.
Y'all remember that commercial back in the day when there was the old ladies in one of those that went to the edge of the mountain? Remember that? And they had this commercial for the wheelchair. That's what they need to go back to. Once you pass 60, we put you into the commercials for old people and just sit in the corner. But I know plenty of old people that can think. These people can't think.
And I love it when these ancient, Nephilim like to talk about, old people homes and old people. I was like, man, look in the mirror. Why are you talking about the elderly when you're more elderly than the elderly people you're talking about? Go look in the mirror. Go sit down somewhere. I mean, go get your Social Security or whatever you get and go enjoy your grandkids and your great grandkids.
My mom is more coherent than them, and she's about their age, right? My mother is a super coherent person at 86. Okay. And that lady can run circles around those fools any time of day. She could just wake up. Okay. She could be out cold, post surgery, drugged up, and she'll be more coherent than these people. I just don't get it, man. But the ousting of McCarthy is a good thing, a good start. What I fear, this is what I fear. I fear that the next person I heard the name Trump floating around us. I don't want that. We don't need Trump as Speaker of the House. Here's why we don't want Trump as Speaker of the House. He will be limited in what he can and can't do. Okay. I think you'll have a whole lot better chance of doing something for America not being in that position.
Even more than the White House?
Yes. I would much rather see somebody, possibly Jim. I would even bring Collins back and have him run as one.
Jim Jordan's already put his hat in the ring.
Yes, and that's good because he denied doing it the first time out. He said he's not going to do it, but I think this has kind of spurred him on to do something. So there are a couple of names, but I'm afraid of who they get next. We might run into the same problem, but they'll be just better at masking their real intentions.
Do we have the picture of the guy that's standing in right now?
McHenry?
Yeah, he had the bow tie on.
I don't have it on me.
Yeah, he's the one that kicked Pelosi out.
He looks like a vacuum salesman.
Yeah.
I promise you that's what he looked like. I thought for
one of those 50s professors.
It is not any worse than Trump's judge. And
he looks like Jigsaw.
He's a weird looking guy.
Yeah, he's the one that kicked Pelosi out, though. Good on him. Get up. Pack your stuff. Get up out of here right now.
Yeah, I mean, Pelosi's got some power in Congress. I mean, you can't just get out, old lady.
Yeah, I wish they had a job called the enforcer. Remember that old commercial with the football player, the office enforcer?
Yes.
Technically, that's
the
Sergeant at Arms.
Enforcer, and they just hired everyday guys like us. Hey, we need you to go get Pelosi out of our office, Mike. Oh, okay.
That's what the Sergeant at Arms for Congress is supposed to do. Like, that's literally their job.
Yep.
Is to enforce rules.
That's crazy.
They don't enforce the rules at all.
No, it's an empty office.
Yeah, we've talked about that many times. It's rules for thee, not for me. And
y'all remember the Music Man? Y'all ever seen the musical Music Man? Because he was a salesman, right? He would go an anvil salesman is what he was, and that's what that dude reminds me of. Like the old 50s salesman.
Snake oil salesman?
Yeah, she ain't had to tie. And this is what you want to get right here. Step right up and buy.
Get your snake oil here. You take one scoop, it cures all sicknesses.
All your ailments.
That's what all your ailments, sir.
Yeah, door-to-door refrigerator salesman.
Yes. That's what you look like.
Snake oil salesman.
That's too funny.
I mean, we have a
he's
snake
not
oil
behaving
salesman.
like it. Thank
Encyclopedia Britannica salesman. That guy.
I remember those.
There
guys.
you go.
Oh, there
Yeah.
it is.
I remember those guys.
Argyle socks and all.
Yeah. remember the guys that used to come around to your house? They used to have that spray. They used to clean off stains. Let me show
Yes.
you, man. And
Yeah. Can we use that on Congress?
we need to use
should.
stuff on
Maybe.
Congress.
Take care of
Should
that
go.
stain. That's a
What
big
we
stain.
need to do,
I'm sure
we need to
Bill
put them all under a lie detector and stream it live and ask them basic questions.
Well,
Did
how old
you?
are you? Like,
Did
how
you?
old are you?
Are
Have
you
you
a
ever
lizard?
been involved in insider trading? Yes or
Yep.
no?
Are you a draconian?
Oh,
Are you a lizard person?
That's like 85% of Congress right there.
They're gonna be like, no.
how much
You're
are you
lying.
actually worth?
That one.
And just, I'm serious, man. Make it a pay-per-view. Make it an event. We get the popcorn and the pizzas and have all the kids around, and we just ask them questions. And you can actually message the live feed with questions. You know,
Where is my tax money going to?
Isn't
what
that
does
like,
Hillary Clinton actually smell like?
It's like Death
Sulfur.
Race. Is it Death Race 3000?
Yeah.
Death race.
Wouldn't that be great, man?
That'd be amazing.
Why can't the Pentagon pass an audit? You know.
Has it ever actually been through a true audit? That's the real question.
Yeah, has it ever been a true audit? Yeah.
Yes.
Who owes more money, the American government or the American people?
Mm.
It's obviously the American people because they don't have anything without them.
And they should all take your analysis too.
That's too funny. In either case, we'll be tackling the Trump case on Friday.
Mm.
But this was just too juicy to let it slide by.
Yeah.
It just kind of popped up, and we figured, hey, you get on this.
We
But
needed to.
Trump's
I think
case,
Friday's
now that he has a
better.
gag order on him, I think is what they said, right?
Yeah, they issued a gag order on him.
On everybody.
On
But
him.
I'm betting you money. I'm making a prediction right here on Savage Patriots. I'm going to bank money that there will be a leak
Oh, yeah.
that will breach the
Always.
so-called gag order, and you will see no one held responsible for it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if
Just solid
Trump even
order.
remotely says one thing about anything, contempt.
Straight to jail.
That's my bet.
Yeah.
That's what they're wanting. Like they're getting big mad over him, and he's like, "I'm gonna send him to jail if he didn't shut up." And he's like, "Yeah,
I mean-
do that. I bet. Come on, do it. Do it.
Do
I would
it.
love to see you do that."
I mean, we
These are
talked
the
about it
guys.
last episode. We said, why does he need a gag order? Because
Yeah, there's nothing. There's no jury to taint.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing.
The judge has already decided the case to begin
Right.
with.
So
This
what is he gonna?
What are
Like,
they gagging him for?
Yeah, it's not even like a public opinion thing. You're not waiting for that. You're not waiting on a jury. There's no one to influence by him speaking except for the Amer. So it's obvious that you're doing it to stave people from voting for him. That's the only thing
That's
you
right.
can think of.
Yeah, because people tend to forget this thing is not even a trial. They keep calling it a trial. It's a summary judgment execution for his businesses. That's what we're
That's right.
looking at. Like they're deciding what they're going to tear apart.
Yeah.
I mean, if speaking of the elections, you saw that Bill Maher when he interviewed what's his name from Florida? What's that loser's name? Running for president, whatever
Ron
his name.
Oh, DeSantis.
Yeah, you saw the Bill Maher DeSantis interview
That
where
was
he
funny.
asked him. He asked him, "Why are you running? Why?" He's like,
Why?
"You're not going to beat Trump. Like, why are you doing it?
Why are you running?
Why?"
You can't go against his base because that's what who you're trying to influence. So why are
Yep.
you running? And DeSantis is like, well, he's trying to hold the Trump hand thing. It doesn't work for you.
Yeah, it
buddy.
doesn't work.
Stick to Florida, do your governing, control down there, and focus
Be a
on
good
one thing at a
governor and
time. Yeah,
Wait.
you can't
Yeah, wait your
multitask.
turn.
Okay, you
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
multitask.
yeah.
Just focus on one thing at a time.
Mhm.
In either case, people, join us on Friday. This Saturday, guess what this Saturday is, people?
Ooh, Rumble.
Saturday.
Rumble.
Rumble,
All right,
Rumble.
this Saturday is the Rumble. So we'll talk about anything and everything come Saturday. So don't forget to tune in. And we'll be putting it out a few more videos. You probably saw that Koi video came out. It turned out pretty good, and it's moving, which is really good. I think we're somewhere in the region of 400 views right now, Koi.
Damn, Coy. I gotta do one. Damn it.
People love you, Koi.
I need to do more. I've been meaning to do more.
Yes, you should do more, Koi.
Yeah, he's
Don't
good.
be so
at that.
Koi. Why are you so
He's-
Koi?
He's a koi fish.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
You
Don't
heard
be a
that one before.
decoy. Don't be a decoy though.
Boy, jeez. No, my favorite one is I wanted to change my name to Ote, so it would be Coyote.
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 Oh.
Koi's pretty much Asian.
Or put
Yeah,
your first name as Don. First. Don Coyote.
Don Coyote.
That's a good one. I didn't think of that one, but that's good.
My name is Don. Don.
Happy
Don.
birthday, Diane. Belated.
Man, Diane is moving along.
Moving along.
Congratulations on hitting another milestone.
Mm-hmm.
God be with you.
Another true son.
But we'll catch you guys on Friday and Saturday. Yep. Make sure you go to the Rumble page. The link is in the banner on our YouTube page. Go sign up.
Forget our merch.
And yes,
buy the merch.
make sure you get that shirts. Get the shirts, y'all. Get them shirts. And then until that day, Mr. Lee.
We will see y'all Friday. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll see you there.
Peace.